You okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Waiting for the question. Yes, I'm fine.
Well, what was the first show you ever did?
It's a long way back because I think the first duet I did with my dad was in 1999. Since then, we just keep doing shows together as a duet. And I also do shows by myself, which my dad pushed me on that because I was not sure, I was not self-confident enough to just do it myself. And he said, yeah, you should have a one-woman show. I said, no, because, I said, yeah, you have to do a one-woman show. Okay. So the first trick I've done, I think it was near 1993, something like that. I started magic when I was 15 in 1988. And I started because my dad brought me with him to FISM in Den Haag in 1988. It was a great FISM. I mean, all the greatest were there. Ricky Jay, Jeff McBride, Vito Lupo, Rudy Cobby, Kevin James, Michael Weber, everybody. They were there. And I was blown away. Max Maven were there, of course. I was blown away because I saw all those people, those guys, sharing magic for 20 hours a day, not sleeping, just sharing magic, talking about magic and other subjects also. But I was so inspired by that. That's the first reason. The second reason, there are three reasons. The second reason is that I saw my dad performing in front of 700 people. And he did his climax, the cups and balls, the fourth cup, the appearing of the fourth cup. At the time, it was just wow. And the people just stood up and they just clapped. And I was blown away by this energy. And I understood that magic can bring emotions. Not only, I love magic, but I am not interested in a card trick and another card trick and another one. I'm interested in communicating with the audience, and that's for me the most important thing about magic. It's only I was trying to answer your question because it's a small question, but for me it's a big question because that was the first show. I think it was in 1993, like I told you. But FISM was very important for me.
Okay.
And the third reason I will finish, and after you ask another question if you can.
No more questions.
Great, I've said everything here. And the third reason I started magic too is that I met Lisa Mena.
Oh.
And Lisa Mena was doing clever magic, feminine, woman-like magic, but not saying, I'm a woman and I'm doing magic. She was doing quick change in close-up situations, and that was inspiring. And I just identify myself because I say, oh, ladies are into magic too, so maybe I can. And before that, I didn't have the click.
When you grew up, your father was already a professional magician.
Oh yeah, he was a professional magician since 1972.
So what was this kind of feeling you had that your father was a professional magician, was an artist? How was the family life?
Yeah, in fact, that's a great question because when I saw my dad, I was born in 1973, and what I have felt with my dad working all day long because he's a very hard worker, I felt he was having fun. And for a little girl, a little child, we don't care, a girl or a boy, it's really important that you can feel that your parents' job are inspiring, funny, that they like to just get up in the morning and just, I'm going to do this and that, and to create and to perform. And so that's the great thing about magic, is that you touch so many fields, not only a card trick.
How was the family life for
family
you
life,
as a child?
Very normal. My dad was working at home, creating his stuff, giving a lot of lessons to many students, and my mom was working in an office during the daytime. She was coming back, of course, at the end of the afternoon. I come back from school and I was doing my homework. It's a normal life.
And you developed your interest by your own? Your father didn't push you or said, come on, have a look and take a card?
Oh no, my head would have hated me. Hate the fact that I was going to do magic because he was a magician. I kept asking him, please, Dad, show me a card trick or show me a trick. And he was not doing that.
So you liked what your father did?
Yeah, I was interested, I was curious.
Okay.
And I think he has developed that, curiosity. And curiosity in magic and mostly in life is one of the most important things in life, to be curious. So yes, he has developed that. And I kept asking him, show me a trick, he didn't. And one day he gave me a book. He just wrote. And learning magic on a book is not one of the easiest way. You know, everybody has learned on a book or a DVD or a YouTube thing. But it was tough. And when he saw I have worked by myself, then he helped me. And then we worked together.
So, more or less you have answered this, but this is the question I had on my mind is, what does magic mean to you?
Magic, like I have answered a little bit, because magic is a way to communicate. It's a way to give in a big sense, not to give. I give energy, I give love, because I love what I do, and when I have an audience that responds, it gives me even more love to give them. So it's a circle.
But why magic? There are other possibilities to communicate with people.
Sure, but it was easy because my dad was a magician, so very easy baby, My dad has a lot of friends in magic, so I met the greatest. He showed me the greatest magicians because he had a very big collection, so I had a full knowledge of what is done and can be done. So, and magic has a great advantage, I would say. It's that it's creative, and I could have been an actress, but it's difficult to communicate with your audience being an actress.
You went to school? You finished your school?
I finished school, sure.
Did you do any studies? Did you learn anything?
No, because in fact, it was a crossroad. In 1991, my dad bought the oldest magic shop in the world, Magische, in 1808, and he bought it in 1991. And I was here, so I had to choose being at the shop, learning my job, or going back to my studies. And I have chosen to learn my craft in the shop, to learn many tricks, to demonstrate, which I am not a fan of it, but it's good because it teaches you many things. So it was good, a good school, tough but good.
So you're a professional magician since
I am 15.
Yes.
I am doing magic for 33 years now. So.
And you still enjoy it?
Do I look like? do I look like bored? No, I love it. In fact, now I enjoy it more now than before, because now I feel more comfortable. I feel more self-assured. I am not, like this, but when I studied magic, I didn't believe in my abilities. None of them. The one who is my greatest fan is my dad, and I don't know how he saw that from me, because he saw my capabilities, and I tell you, I don't understand how he saw that, but I worked a lot more than others because people expected me more, because I was the daughter of Alexandra Duvivier. So it was a good school too. I don't regret anything. I think it's the best thing that could happen.
I looked for your name in the internet many times. And
what happened?
No. Somehow you are more or less, I think, always, I would say 95%, connected with your father.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, that way.
Isn't this a problem for you, to be more or less in the shadow of your father? Do you feel yourself like a shadow in your father?
No, I don't feel like a shadow, because my dad, like I told you earlier, he has always pushed me. He is the one who told me in 2001, do a one-woman show. I said, no, I can't, no, because, I'm afraid, I don't want to do it. I said, do it. So we wrote together, he wrote me a one-woman show that fits me. He said, what do you want to say? What do you want to do? And he just, like a tailor, he just put a suit on me, and that fits me perfectly. And that was a great experience. So now I have 3 different one-woman shows of 1 hour and a half. And no, In fact, you know what? I don't feel being in the shadow of my dad. And even if I felt it, what's the problem? If I was in the shadow of somebody who is not creative, not good in magic, a poor guy, okay, I understand, it would be a problem. But you know, my dad is great. He's doing many things. He's still performing. He's a big influence. And not only, but he's a big influence. So yeah, okay, I am in the shadow of my dad, and good. I love it. No problem. I don't have that type of problem, you know, ego is not an issue for me. Maybe for others it's a problem, but it's their problems, it's not mine. I'm fine.
By one conversation which I listened on YouTube, I realized you have children?
Sure, I have two.
Two?
Yeah.
You have a husband?
I do. I have the husband that goes with the children.
What is he doing?
He's doing magic. He's running the shop, in fact.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing, taking care of the shop, selling at the shop, doing everything at the shop.
Okay.
So we get along
How
very
old
well.
are your children?
They are 10 and 14.
Oh.
That's great.
Girls and boys?
I took one of each.
Okay. Let's talk about Penn and Teller for a while.
Hola. Yeah.
Yeah?
That's, wow. That's an experience.
That's an experience?
Oh yeah, it was marvelous. A lot of stress.
Why? We know we have talked about this last night, but why did you want to perform on Penn and Teller?
Let me think. You know what? It's very simple. Life is, you know, people can think about many things, but things are very easy. I had a trick to sell. My dad has that trick to sell, and he said, you know, you should do it. To Penn and Teller. I said, what? But I've never done that trick. It's your trick. You have done it. You have created it 40 years ago. I've never done it. I wouldn't be able to do it. Still, that same sentence, you know, I am not able to do it. That's a leitmotiv in my, I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So he said, yeah, you should. It's in 2 months. You have 2 months to prepare. I said, what? 2 months? So, okay. I took the challenge and I just practiced, learned my speech, in English, try to be funny in English, which is not my first language, but I love speaking in English, so that's fine. And you know, I've done it. So yeah, the reason is really easy. Cards in bag, SIB as we call it, is a great trick. Especially because it's a principle more than one trick.
Yes. Anyway. But you didn't really fool Penn and Teller.
Oh yeah, but you know, it was on TV, so everybody knows that. Sure, the thing is that it happened like that. I started the story yesterday, but I didn't finish it, in fact. I go there, I am appointment at the Rio, I meet Michael Close and the late Johnny Thompson. I was lucky enough to meet Johnny Thompson. And I show the trick. He said, Joe, show me, is the table okay? Yeah, the table is great. So I do the trick and say, all right, great. Can you explain the trick? I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I said, yeah, okay, I explained the trick. So I explained the trick to those guys, those top-notch magicians. I finished the explanation and they say, okay, I didn't understand, we didn't understand, but that's okay. So, okay, he said, okay, now you just have to wait, go there, and just waited for my turn. And I performed the trick for Penn and Teller. I didn't meet Penn and Teller beforehand, never. Nobody did there. And they come on stage and I see them for the first time. I've watched Penn and Tellers on TV many times and they are stars for me. And now they are just next to me, so I am stressed. But I am prepared, so that's the good thing. And I do the trick. Now I just spread, and the 5 cards, and I just spread, and great. And now they go back to their seats, and they speak to me. And I don't understand anything of what they are telling me, because, you know, they speak a bit fast. My English is okay, but not that great, and I don't understand. Then Teller comes to me, make a drawing, and he doesn't make a drawing. He says stripper. And I read stripper, and it's not the time to argue. It's not the moment to say, yes, it's a stripper deck, but no, in fact, it's not completely a stripper deck, it's a double stripper, and you have 2 negative, 1 positive. You can't say all of that on TV to Penn and Teller. So I say, yes, you understood the trick. And Teller go back and go, bye-bye. And I go. Half an hour later, they just call me back and I say, we have to reshoot things because they're now. And I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm here and the Penn and Teller are talking and they say, how do you say in French, you fooled me? And that was amazing because in fact what happened, I don't know, but I think that's what happened. In the little ears, Penn and Teller, Johnny Thompson talked to them, Michael Close talked to them and said, no, you didn't get how it is. Because it's a double stripper, you have one negative deck, one positive deck, and in fact you just take one and I'm not going to go into details here, but after I met briefly 2 seconds Teller and they say to me, sorry, but we do mistakes too. And I said, no problem. But yeah, sure, first time I didn't fool them because they thought they were having the
And then you reshot them?
And I reshot only the ending.
Yeah.
And it was on the 1st of April.
Oh.
TV?
Yeah.
No, that was not shot on the 1st of April, but they have shown that on the 1st of April TV for Penn and Teller.
I see.
And they just say what the reality was. Very fair, very, it was a great experience. Great experience. And we sold many of the tricks. But most importantly, we didn't chat about that yesterday. I think that most importantly it was a reminder for them that I existed. So it was great because, we sell the trick and people just say, we remember Alexandra Duvivier, she's there, where? So it was a good experience for many, many things. And for me, it was great being on TV, American TV. Then for 3 or 4 years now, I am on Masters of Illusion. I go back each year. They invite me.
Did they invite you to Las Vegas, as it is the rule with Penn and Teller, if they have been fooled? You performed in their show?
I don't know, because you have 2 options when you fool them.
Yeah.
Either you take the money or you participate to their show, and I took the money.
Okay.
I took the money for one very easy reason, because I had gigs, I have shows in my own country, and I couldn't go back and forth like this.
Okay.
And Vegas is really far from our countries, from Europe, so it was easier like that. But I would have loved to perform with them, of course.
I saw your show at the Women's Gala.
Great. Yes.
I didn't like the Women's Gala.
The what? Which one?
The Women Gala I didn't like.
You didn't like it?
No.
Really?
Why Women Gala? Why?
Wait, I understand. This is a good thought. Why women? Would you just women would do it?
The only one, and you still do. Touching me is your performance. No. I'm not saying this because I'm here and I want to be nice to you. No. I have my heart on my tongue, as you say.
Thank you very much.
No. And it's still touching me. But
merci.
What I would like to know, especially this thing with the cards to the lyrics of the song.
Moulin Rouge. Yes. I love it.
And then the end with the cards.
But I mean it so much. I feel so fortunate.
And that's what I felt, that it is authentic what you do there.
Yeah.
And this, you said you want to communicate with your art, and you do communicate with your art.
I'm so happy. Thank you, because it's really important for me. Thank you very much.
But I would like to know,
yes,
because this turning over the cards with the words somehow reminds me of Le Grand Blanc avec une chaussure noire.
Le Grand Blanc avec une chaussure noire, oui.
Do you know this?
Sure, I know. It's a Pierre Richard.
Do you know the introduction to this film?
Remind me. It's a long time ago since I didn't.
That's what they do with cards.
They do something with cards?
And I thought perhaps this was Magische doing, because they were playing with cards.
Really?
And then they turn over the cards and say the director, costumes.
I have to see it again. That's great. No, in fact, to be really precise, my influence is my dad, because my dad has done many things. Printing, he's trick printing. He has sold thousands of that trick printing card. That's the inspiration. Because my dad has worked a lot, in the 70s, 80s, on his big inspiration is movies.
Yeah, movies. Well, you ask him. Yeah. I'm sure he knows this. If you
wait. Sure.
I'm positive he knows the sequence the opening
I don't know
sequence.
if we can see it here.
I'm just trying to find it.
Ah, nice. Good.
On YouTube.
That's great. But that's the great thing about magic. You can touch many fields. You are not only a card guy or a coin guy. You can be running a shop. You can be creating backstage. You can be on stage. You can be a talker. You can do lectures. You can do corporate explaining to to companies the relationship. You can explain the relationship between the world of corporate and magic. There are so many parallels on both worlds.
This is exactly what I feel and what I try to do with not my magic, but everything I do. I live on magic for 40 years, 50 years.
Yeah.
And I always suffer from people who do not respect our art as an art.
Yeah.
So in my little theater, every night I say, you talk about theater, you talk about movies, concerts, but in this in this connection you would never talk about magic or name it.
Sure.
And this is a pity because we have nothing. We are nothing below these artists.
Of course, of course.
Even on top.
My dad completely agrees with you. He has always thought and fight for that.
Yeah.
And we have made I told you that yesterday. 5 years. It took us 5 years in France to make the art of magic recognized by the Ministry of Work.
You didn't say so. No.
We can give diploma, a 2 years diploma, 2 years degree diploma to people who come study in our school 1 year, and after they have a diploma, like dancers, like music, like theater.
And this is accepted by the government as a real study?
Yes, by the Ministry of Labor.
Whoa.
5 years of work, because my dad, like you've just said, we know that magic is an art by itself. So this is very true, and that's what we think and we believe. Not think, believe. Yeah, this is important to do everything. All what's happening here in the convention is important because it's a small stone to the art. And maybe one day you'll have a diploma here also in Germany that recognize magic as an art. We are the precursor, I don't know how you say in English, but we are the first one to do that because the first diploma in the world. This is great and also a pity because it should have been done earlier. But somebody had to beginning. It's my dad and I, we've done it. The Double Fond has done it, so that's cool. But yes, we fight for that. Magic is an art. Fuck, don't say that.
I will write exactly what you say.
No, but yes, you can say, because I really do believe in that. I do believe in my art. I believe in we can do so many things. We are only clay.
So poor performances must hurt you.
Oh, oui, a lot.
Okay.
Especially ladies' poor performances. Because the problem is that somebody asked me a question in an interview. They asked me, what do you see for the future of magic? I say, I see that there are more people performing and doing magic as an art. And I didn't fall in the trap of saying, I wish there are more women into magic. Of course, great. I am happy if there are more women in magic, but I don't want women in magic. I want good performers in magic. That is the most important thing. What do we care about women? Of course, this is there are good things and bad things about everything. Yeah. And the Me Too experience, the Me Too movement is great. Yeah. But on the other hand, it's bad because now women must be everywhere. Yeah. Okay, I love having and I hate this word, female magician. I hate why female magician? But okay. Magician, lady magicians.
And then you know that I didn't like the show. The women's show.
Cut that! Yeah, but it's only good performers that we need to represent our art. That's it. Yeah. And the problem with women, they just show, hey, they are with their bathing suit and
it's a joy to talk to you.
Thank you.
Talking about joy.
I love talking to you too.
your greatest joy in magic, except your father.
My kids.
Okay.
Because like I was saying to a friend, there is not only magic in life, come on.
Yes.
I love magic. It's my life, it's my job, it's my passion. But I love so many other things besides magic, hopefully for me. I love reading, I love going to museums, I love watching my kids growing, because it's a source, that's, watching my kids just reminds me of how I was just a few years ago when I was younger. And childhood, that's what I like when I talk about childhood. That's why I do tricks with sweets, for instance.
Okay.
And I don't do it especially for kids, I do it for grown-ups. Because I think that they have lost or forget or just put something on their childhood. But we have the same things in common. That's why when I do the thread and I break it and I say I have seen the end of Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston and Robin Williams, we have all seen that end and many other things like that. We live the same things but at different moments in our lives. And that's important to remind you.
This was the nicest pattern, the nicest story to this Hindu
I'm glad.
drake, the nicest pattern I've ever heard.
Really?
It's nothing like what's it called with the grey beer hood.
Eugene
Burger, which is.
It's another way of saying it.
They exaggerate. Many magicians exaggerate.
Yeah,
and they want to force their feelings onto me, and that's wrong.
No.
So that's why I said you are authentic. So, but still, your greatest joy in magic, not in life.
In magic, that's a tough question.
Yes.
It's a tough question because I have many, but for instance, my third one-woman show, Secrets of Fabrication, is one of my joy because I feel good, because it really fits me perfectly.
Okay.
And I just tell things that are very personal, like Moulin Rouge and the thread. It's in my show, in this show. And that show is very important for me because it really fits me like a glove. And again, my dad and I, we have worked on it to...
It's a full evening show, 90 minutes?
1 hour and a half.
One hour and a half,
yeah.
okay.
And I love it. Yeah, because it's me.
And it's about what?
It's about my life, Okay. I was in love with a guy when I was 12, 14, and I talk about that in a mentalism trick, but which is not mentalism. It's about me loving a guy that I didn't talk about because I was too shy to talk to him, and so on. And and Moulin Rouge and the thread, and I just share my experience with some 50 person in the theater.
Okay. Very nice. And what is your greatest regret or disappointment in magic?
I try in my life not to have too much regrets. Otherwise, you can see people having many regrets, and they are, I don't have the word in English, but they are gray. The color gray. They are not white, they are gray, they are sad, they are not happy with their lives.
Yeah.
Of course I have many regrets, because as soon as you told me the question, I say, I have this, I have that, I have many regrets. But I try not to have, because I want to move on.
But what is still in magic?
Still in magic, I should have, I should have done more for me, because one of my thing is I mostly think about the others before than me. So I have worked a lot for others and not enough for myself. That's what my dad tells me all the time. You should work more for your tricks. And he's right. So that's one of my regrets. But I'm working on it.
Okay. Is there anything you would not do again in magic? Have you done any shows or any...
Of course.
Yeah?
Mistakes. You always do mistakes. But I learn. You mostly learn from your
Of course, yes. You learn from your mistakes, yes.
But when you have a standing ovation, you learn also many things, I think. People who say that you only learn from your mistakes, it's a bit narrowed, I think.
Okay.
You learn from anything. It depends on your nature. I am a positive nature, so I learn from everything. And I mostly learn from everybody. Because when they do mistakes, I say, okay, I shouldn't do that because it happens to him and I don't want to happen to me. So, to answer your question, that's tough. My biggest regrets in magic? I don't have an example. I should think about it. Give me a few minutes. Well, maybe one of my regrets is not to have learned comment t'appelles un chapelet, tamaris, a stack deck. I should have learned a stack deck. Because if I have learned it 10 years ago, I should be fluent in stack deck. And now I am just a Kreis. No. Well, something like that, you know. I want to do more, but I have not enough time.
So what do you like most in magic?
Performing.
And what do you don't like in magic?
Rehearsal, you know, tech rehearsal. Okay, put the lights. I don't, you know, when I do a tech rehearsal, the thing is that I don't want to annoy the technicians. I have needs, but I don't want to impose them my needs. And for me, it's tough to say, I need this light, I need this sound, I need, it's a mess for me. So I make it the easiest possible way for the technicians. I have almost no needs.
Okay.
So that's why for a convention like that, I know that they have plenty of artists to deal with, and I arrive with my.
It's again you take care of others.
That's exactly it. You know, but it's a fil rouge in my in my life. Okay. So I try not to impose too much.
Okay. Your show, what is this third show called?
Secrets of Fabrication, Secrets of Fabrication. So It's right because I say my secrets of fabrication, but of myself, not of my tricks. So I don't say any of my secrets, of course, magical secrets. But for me, it's part of my secrets.
How important do you think are secrets? How important are secrets?
I think this is the mystery of, when you meet someone for the first time, we all have secrets. And this is good to have some and to discover one by one the secrets in the conversation. One of your secrets is that you are moved by authenticity. Mm-hmm. And that's great, but I couldn't expect or guess that when we met in 2003, for instance. I didn't knew that. I didn't guess it at all. And yet now I have one of your secrets. That's great.
Are you angry when people expose tricks?
No, not at all. That's great for magic.
That's what I mean. Okay. That's great for magic. Why?
Why? Because the more you talk about magic, the more magic is represented, and the more people will maybe do magic. So that's great. You have a saying in French: "It's plus on est de fou, plus on rit." The more we are, the more we laugh. So good.
That is fascinating, Alexandra. It's fascinating.
It's a way of thinking. I'm positive. Mm-hmm. All type of I am positive. I like life.
So you never cared about the masked magician?
No, that's good. I wouldn't have done it myself, that's for sure. Not because I am masked, but because I respect too much the art of magic to expose certain things. Mm-hmm. And on the other hand, if you ask me, but you don't, but you say, but you are exposing tricks because you release DVDs and you have the Netflix of magic and you expose some tricks. Sure, but it's a give and take, it's a share.
Yeah.
And thanks to that, there will be more people involved in magic, passionate by magic, and the world of magic will grow. And thanks to that, people will understand, recognize, realize that magic is an art.
Yes. I have nothing against the masked magicians. To me, it's a silly show. It was a silly show. But what I didn't like is the way they exposed.
Why? Like it's
so easy. It's like they want to cheat you. I don't want to cheat my people.
That's true. That's true. When I teach a trick to lay audience because they ask me, I always say, watch how clever magic is. Exactly. And I am enthusiastic because it's really clever. When people show me the tricks, they are like, wow. So, still, when you go in a dealer's room, there are thousands of tricks and new principles all the time. That's captivating, isn't it?
Yes.
Sorry, I
No,
cut your inspiration.
no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Still, in general, how is magic regarded in your country? What do people connect with magic? When they hear there's a magic show, how would they
Good
read
reactions. You know, the French audience is Cartesian. Descartes, René Descartes is a philosopher who said we have to understand everything.
Okay.
So French wants to understand everything, what's going on. Okay. So they want to understand magic. And my dad has a great saying about that. Is that he says that if you can fool the French audience, you can fool any audiences in the world because the French are the toughest. That's great. That's a great school. Again, it's very positive because you can say, it's a pain in the ass because we are French and they want to.
So French people in general don't think of children's magic when they hear about a magic show?
They think about rabbit and hat.
Okay.
Old magic. Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. But we have a great magician, a French magician, which is called, I don't think you know him, it's Eric Antoine.
Of course I know Eric.
Great.
By name, at least by name, yes.
Nice. So
yes,
Eric Antoine has done a great thing for magic because he has
with
won.
His shows.
Voilà, his shows. And first in Incroyable Talent, it's kind of the Americans Got Talent, but in French.
Yeah.
Incroyable Talent. He has done it and won it, and now he's one of the member of the jury. Mm-hmm. So that's great exposure for magic because it shows that magic is a job, an art, can be funny and strong, and you can be somebody, you can be a star. So that's great for magic. It's not like David Copperfield, but he's as known in France as David Copperfield. In France, I mean. And that's great for the magic, the art of magic, because now he can do rooms with 5,000 people and doing his shows. So that's marvelous. People finally understand that magic can be funny and strong. And not boring.
Otto Wessely, you know him.
Yeah, sure. It's a friend.
He's writing a column in my magazine for
really?
many years. 10 years.
So he speaks about Eric.
Yes.
Of course.
And next column he speaks about Gérard Majax and Macron.
Oui, of course. Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to say to my readers? A clever advice.
I don't know if it will be clever, but first I hope you will be interested in this interview because I know that the German audience doesn't know me very well. So I am very happy and very honored that you asked me to do this interview, Wittus. It's really, really nice. And a wise advice, I don't know, A wise advice, I can say go to Double Fond TV and watch many tricks on my platform of magic, but this isn't the advice. The real advice is to work. And when you are done working, you work more. And when you have done your work, you do more work. And when you are done with that, you just find a character and try something to say, because what people want to see on stage is a human being, not someone who plays a character of somebody else, just being yourself. And this is so important. So that's what took me the most time in my life. But nowadays I am happy and I feel cool because, finally I know who I am and I can express that in front of you, readers, and in front of you guys here, for instance, in Magica. Thank you, Wittus. So moving. Thank you so much.
I've done many interviews.
I know, of
with
course.
Kevin James,
Kevin.
with David Copperfield,
yes.
with Frank Ferrari, with I don't know.
I know, I know you.
And I have asked several questions. I ask everybody. I've never ever heard answers like you.
Thank you. I don't know. I have to read the other interviews to know what they said, but. It sounds so logical for me because this is my path. That's why I've done it. Merci, Wittus. Thank you for giving me the opportunity of saying all of this, because I rarely talk. I rarely talk because if you ask me, I just talk, because as you can see, I talk fast and I talk. But I'm pretty shy. Otherwise, not on stage, but but that shyness was. How do you say a break? In cars you brake when you just brake. It was a break because I couldn't say hello to somebody without having my, how do you say, blushing?
Yeah, getting red.
Getting red, exactly. And it was tough for me, very tough. If you see videos of me when I began in 1988 or in the beginning of the 90s, it was I make people suffer watching me because I was suffering myself. So I think my biggest, what I'm the most proud is to be like I am today, because it took me a lot of years and a lot of work.